I think one of the hardest things for me right now is acceptance. Being able to accept where I am, or accept what others have to offer, accept just what I have to offer and what I can and can't do. And it mostly just stems from it. I feel like it mostly stems from me not being able to let go of certain versions of who I used to be. So it's hard for me to accept who I am. Like I I just now entered the season of not just being so present with everybody, and I mean that in the sense of hmm I don't know. I lost my train of thought. But I understand that there are certain parts of me that don't resonate with where I am. So I can't hold on to certain parts of me near and dear because, like I said, they don't resonate with who I am and where I am right now. And it's hard for me to accept that, because when those pieces of me were able to be used in a way that I needed, they did their job. They did their due diligence. So now I'm in a space where I don't need to act like that anymore, or I don't have to carry that piece of myself because it is no longer needed. I feel like a part of me has accepted certain parts as like my identity, and it's not me. It's not me. I had to do what I had to do at those given moments in order to move in a way that made sure that I was always taken care of. But now I'm in a different space where I don't have to do that. Now I'm in a different space where I have to do things differently. I have to approach situations with open heart, open mind, open soul. And a lot of times I don't want to do that. And I also feel like that's rightfully so. Because we all have times when we don't want to do certain things. So I don't even know where the fuck that came from. It wasn't even in my face this whole time. But I don't even remember what the fuck I said. Why do I have to? I understand that God gives his hardest lessons to his strongest soldiers. But at some point in time, I do get tired of being a strong soldier. I did not ask for it. That's a lie, because I know before I got on this trip, this journey of self, of being able to be here and be present on earth, definitely agreed to this shit. But that shit, I don't know. I don't think we really understand how hard life is for real. How hard it is and how easy it is to get so caught up in what life has to offer that you forget what you have to offer yourself. You forget what you have to offer the universe or the world or your friends and your families. I know personally I've been in a space of having to work and grind and sometimes struggle to a point where I don't know what life is outside of that. And then when I am presented with opportunities outside of that, it's very, very uncomfortable for me. And sometimes I try to do what I can to put me back in a space where I am comfortable. But I'm also starting to understand and accept that, bro, I'm gonna be uncomfortable. As much as I want to sit up and make it seem like, I control my life and I control what happens, I don't. And there's comfortability in being uncomfortable. You have to be uncomfortable until you can get comfortable. And I feel like my thing is sometimes when I get too comfortable, I get complicit. Like I'm okay where I am, but to a certain extent, you don't ever need to be okay where you are. You should always just want a little more. That's not saying you can't accept where you are and be okay where you are, because you can. But you can only be okay where you are for so long until it's time for you to go to the next level and move on to something more. I'm not editing this motherfucker. I'm not taking shit out. Y'all finna just see it all. Whatever. I don't care. I ain't posted a video in a minute, so. I've also just realized that because people are so used to me being able to control my emotions and hold myself accountable for certain things, that some people have really built up the whole idea that I'm not allowed to react to certain situations in a certain way just because I am so enlightened. But I don't feel like that means any fucking thing. Like, I'm at the end of the day, regardless of how enlightened I am, I'm still a human being and I do have emotions. And I'm not going to just dismiss how I feel within the situation just because you feel like I shouldn't feel that way, or you feel like I'm too healed or too enlightened to even be able to access that type of emotion. Like, and I'm a very realistic person, especially, like I said, especially when it comes down to my emotions, because I understand that regardless of how I feel, that's a part of the human experience. I have to feel certain emotions, even if I don't want to, even if I don't want nothing to do with it. I got to. That's the only way. That's the only way I make it through this experience with, some type of understanding of myself and my own emotions. And at times, I can understand and I can respect the fact that, my emotions may seem big. They are big. They can get huge. And sometimes, I know in the past that kept me from actually, like, acknowledging how I felt. Mostly because it's just like I understand my emotions and the energy field that comes with it is just super duper big. And a lot of people aren't good at, being able to close themselves off from accepting other people's energy. And it's just like, if I feel how I feel, I can't hide it. Everybody is going to feel it, and that's just that simple. So I used to hide how I felt and, just swallow my emotions and swallow my pain. But now it's just like I refuse to do that shit for anybody. Yes, I feel some fucking type of way. Yes, I'm irritated. Yes, I'm sad. Yes, I'm mad. Regardless of what the situation is, whether if I'm in the right or wrong, I'm allowed to feel how I feel. Rather if you want to accept my emotions or not, I accept it. Like, we gonna be realistic. Especially when it come down to, like, situations in which I'm wrong. I've never been one that's shied away from taking accountability from anything. And I think I've said this a few times within some of my videos. Like, I'm not against taking accountability, but I'm also not going to ignore how I feel when it comes down to certain situations. Any situation, fuck a certain situation. Like, if I'm wrong, I'm going to take accountability for the fact that I'm wrong, and I can sit up and apologize. But one thing I'm not going to do is deny myself the ability to feel any emotion that arises with whatever the situation at hand is. And as much as the victim, in which I don't even want to say victim, but the other person in the situation, as much as the victim would just like to be like, oh, well, you just don't have no space to feel how you feel because you didn't do it. You did the stuff you did it, so you don't have any space to feel any type of way. I don't necessarily believe that all the times. I feel like sometimes we do things unexpected, unintentionally. Like, I wasn't intentionally trying to make you feel any way or, make the situation what it was, but I moved in a way that was comfortable for me, and it made you feel some type of way. I don't feel like in certain situations that the aggressor's emotions should be ignored, because a lot of times stuff happens to people, or people do things based off of, like, it's just the consequences to your actions, cause and effect. And a lot of times people will take the accountability away from it in order to keep themselves as the victim. Like, for instance, let's just say I'm chilling, I'm having a good day, and somebody comes and fucks with me, and it made me get up and go do some fuck shit to them. Although I am wrong for getting up and doing some fuck shit to them, the person who came and did some fuck shit to me, they're also in the wrong as well. It's cause and effect. I would have never did what I did to you if you had never did what you did to me. And a lot of times that shit can be looked at as tit for tat, but a lot of it, I don't always feel like it's tit for tat. It's cause and effect. You fuck with me, I fuck with you back, and now we're talking about the outcome of me fucking with you back, instead of the fact that I would have never fucked with you if you had never fucked with me. Like, yeah, there's always accountability to be taken on both sides. I feel like a lot of stuff can be avoided if both parties could definitely sit up and take accountability for, the shit that they caused, or the shit they had a hand in. Everybody not always right. Everybody not always wrong. Two things can be right at once. Two things can be wrong at once, But yeah, that's just a little rant. I hope some of the stuff that I hope some of the stuff that I said in here made sense. And even if it didn't, y'all piece that shit together.